Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, text 41. Tad idam grahayam asa
Tat idam grahayam asa
Satam Atma Vatambaram
Sutam
Sutam
Atma
Vatam Varam
Sarva Vedeti Hasanam
Sarva
Sarva
Vede
Vedeti
Itihasanam
Hasanam
Saram Samudritam.
Saram
Saram Saram
Samudritam.
Samudritam.
Would somebody like to read?
Yeah, I can read.
Oh, please.
Translation. Sri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who was the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all Vedic literatures and histories of the universe. Purport. Men with a poor fund of knowledge only the history of the world from the time of Buddha or since 600 BC. And prior to this period of all histories mentioned in the scriptures are calculated by them to be only imaginary stories. That is not a fact. All the stories mentioned in the Puranas and Mahabharata, etc., are actual histories, not only of this planet but also of millions of other planets within the universe. Sometimes the history of planets beyond this world appears to such men to be unbelievable, but they do not know that different planets are not equal in all respects, and therefore some of the historical facts derived from other planets do not correspond with the experience of this planet. Considering the different situation of different planets and also time and circumstances, there is nothing wonderful in the stories of the Puranas, nor are they imaginary. We should always remember the maxim that one man's food is another man's poison. We should not therefore reject the stories and histories of the Puranas as imaginary. The great rishis like Vyasa had no business putting some imaginary stories in their literatures.
So, it's true.
In the
I'm sorry. I'll just say something because many times when we don't know, like especially when I was growing up, we used to read, we used to hear all these stories, hear them, read them. But then sometimes also we would think that they're just mythology. We were taught, oh, it's mythology, Mahabharata, Ramayana, you know, that was like the general thing. But no, these stories are true. And as Prabhupada is saying, the experience on different planets, there are different experiences. So we can also try to understand, for example, there are different species of life, even on this planet. So the experience of one species is going to be completely different than the experience of another one. So even within this planet, we can see that there are different experiences depending on the consciousness, depending on, time, circumstance, everything. So these are actual facts. And the great liberated sages, why would they just speak of something that does not exist? So these are actual fact. Yes, please.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, historical facts selected from the histories of different planets have been depicted. It is therefore accepted by all the spiritual authorities as the Mahapurana. The special significance of these histories is that they are all connected with the activities of the Lord in a different time and atmosphere. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is the topmost personality of all the self-realized souls and he accepted this as the subject of studies from his father Vyasadeva. Srila Vyasadeva is the great authority and the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Being so important, he delivered the message first to his great son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. It is compared to the cream of the milk. Vedic literature is like the milk ocean of knowledge. Cream or butter is the most palatable essence of milk, and so also is Srimad Bhagavatam, for it contains all palatable, instructive, and authentic versions of different activities of the Lord and his devotees. There is no gain, however, in accepting the message of Bhagavatam from the unbelievers, atheists, and professional reciters who make a trade of Bhagavatam for the layman. It was delivered to Srila Sukadeva Goswami, and he had nothing to do with the Bhagavata business. He did not have to maintain family expenses by such trade. Srimad Bhagavatam should therefore be received from the representative of Sukadeva, who must be in the renounced order of life without family encumbrance. Milk is undoubtedly very good and nourishing, but when it is touched by the mouth of snake, it is no longer nourishing. Rather, it becomes the source of death. Similarly, those who are not strictly in the Vaishnava discipline should not make a business of this Bhagavatam and become a cause of spiritual death for so many hearers. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that the purpose of all the Vedas is to know Him, Lord Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Sri Krishna Himself in the form of recorded knowledge. Therefore, it is the cream of all the Vedas and it contains all historical facts of all times in relation with Sri Krishna. It is actually the essence of all histories.
So Srila Vyasadeva, he is incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He wrote the Vedas, and then he wrote a commentary on the. He put the Vedas in Vedanta Sutra. Then the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is called the cream of all the Vedas. If the Vedas is compared to milk, then churning the milk, when we churn the milk, the cream comes out, the most relishable part of the milk. So the most relishable part of Vedas, the essence of all Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. To understand Lord Krishna, Bhagavatam contains all the pastimes of the Lord, his incarnations, his pastimes. Satu samshravayam asa
Satu Samshravayam Asha
Maharajam Parikshitam
Maharajam Parikshitam
Ayopavishtam Gangayam
Prayupavishtam Gangaya
Paritam Paramarshibhihe.
Paritam Paramarshibhiti.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Translation Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. Purport: all transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. The disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless, therefore, Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature are received through the parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not bona fide. Vyasadeva delivered the message to Sukadeva Goswami, and from Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami or from his representative and not from any irrelevant interpreter.
So Bhagavatam should be heard in disciplic succession. There are many professional men who recite Bhagavatam, hold the recitation of 7 days of Bhagavatam. But Bhagavatam should not be heard from professionals, but from the devotees who are coming in the disciplic succession, because they have the transcendental knowledge, and so they can give us the transcendental knowledge. And that's the reason. So Srila Vyasadeva gave it to Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami spoke it to Parikshit Maharaj. At that time, Sutta Goswami was hearing also. So Sutta Goswami also is hearing in the disciplic succession. So Prabhupada is saying, we should also hear it in disciplic succession from Sutta Goswami or from his representative.
Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time, and he at once left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank of the Ganges to fast till death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc., went there due to his imperial position. They offered many suggestions about his immediate duty, and at last was settled that he would hear from Sukadeva Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus the Bhagavatam was spoken to him.
So see, he's going to die in 7 days. So time is very, very short. So when one knows that, oh, time is short, one is going to do the most important thing, you know. You're not going to waste time if you know I'm going to die. You want to do the most important thing. And so Maharaj Parikshit, he understood that the most important thing, you know, it won't be to continue his attachment to his family and his kingdom. So he gave up everything, went to the bank of the Ganges, sat waiting there. And Sukadev Goswami came there and he spoke him the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can see that Bhagavatam is so important. So important that he's going to die, and then now he just wants to hear Bhagavatam.
Sripada Shankaracharya, who preached Mayavadi philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of the Absolute, also recommended that one must take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating. Indirectly, Sripada Shankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. This is the recommendation of all great transcendentalists. Sukadeva Goswami had long ago stated the same truth that at the end one must remember Narayana. That is the essence of all spiritual activities. In pursuance of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit, and it was recited by the able Sukadeva Goswami. And both the speaker and the receiver of the messages of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by the same medium.
So Krishna says, Antakale chamam eva. You know, that whoever remembers me alone at the time of death comes to my abode. That is recommended for all of us. Prabhupada is quoting, is mentioning that even Shankaracharya, who gave the impersonalist theory, even he says, take shelter of the lotus feet of Govinda, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Buddhamati, he says. You know, so all the great authorities are saying, take the name of the Lord. Take the name of the Lord. So it's so important. Krishne Swadhama Dhama Krishne Swadhama Pagate
Krishna
Krishna
Dhamo Pagate
Dharma Jnana Dibhihe Saha
Dharma
Dharma
Jnana
Jnana
Dibhi
Taha.
Kalo nashta drisham esha.
Kalo
Nashta
nashtam
Drisham Esha.
Puranarko dunoditaha.
Puran
Puranarako Dunodita. Translation. This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna has his eternal Dhama or abode where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia, and his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. When he descends to the material world, he displays himself with all paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atmamaya. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atmamaya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc., are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to re establish codes of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principles of religion. Either he or a suitable person empowered by him can dictate the codes of religion. Real religion means to know God, our relation with him, and our duties in relation with him, and to know ultimately our decision after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls
Destination.
who are
To know
entrapped
ultimately, I'm sorry. And to
ultimately,
ultimately know
sorry,
our destination.
yeah, our destination after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by the material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind in the present age of coral or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal edition of the animals. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They are so blind they cannot see anything beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego. But they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge, science, and material prosperity. They can risk their lives to become a dog or hog just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate aim of life. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the messages of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and thus both the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study of the Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life, Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representation of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical.
So the sages, so here Sutta Goswami is saying that this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning of the eternal dham or abode where Krishna lives. What is he doing there in his dham, his abode?
He's enjoying with his associates.
Yes. So is this eternal? Is this enjoyment temporary or is it eternal?
Eternal.
Eternal.
Eternal. And his associates are temporary or eternal?
Eternal.
And his
Associates are also
dham
eternal.
is, yeah, and his dham is
Eternal.
temporary or eternal.
Eternal.
Yeah, that's right.
Eternal.
So Krishna has his eternal abode where he's eternally enjoying with his eternal associates. It's not temporary, always exists. So his eternal abode, what? How is it? How is it manifested? By
By his external energy, internal energy.
internal energy. That's right.
Internal
What
energy.
about the material world?
External energy.
External energy. That's right.
Manifestation.
So when he's coming to this material
Material
world,
world is by external. Yes.
yeah. And so when Krishna comes inside the material world, how does he come? With which energy is he coming in the material world?
With his
In
internal
his
energy.
internal
Yes,
potency. Yeah.
internal. Yeah, that's Atma Maya. Because people may think that, oh, because Krishna is coming to the material world, he's coming by his material energy. No, by his internal spiritual energy. Atma Maya is called here, by his own potency. So, means what? Means Krishna's form, his name, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, they're all eternal, they're all transcendental, they're all spiritual, they're not material, they're not temporary. Okay, so why, now what Prabhupada is mentioning, why does Krishna come to this material world? Krishna himself says it in the Bhagavad Gita.
To reclaim the fallen souls and re-establish balance of religion.
Yeah,
Dharma.
Dharma. Yeah, do you know the Sanskrit verse? Which one is this? Chapter 4?
Yada yada
Parityaga.
dharmasya.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yada yada dharmasya glani
No, no,
bhavati.
no, no, no.
No.
No, no, you
Yada,
are
yada.
right.
Yada, yada.
Parityaga.
Yes. Both. Yes. Yeah, both of them. Yes, that's
Parityana.
right.
Yeah, both
Yes,
of
both
them
of them.
together. Paritranaya
Yes.
sadhuna vinashaya cha duskritam dharma
Yes.
sanstapna. Then the next one is the yada yada
Bhavani.
dharmasya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of them. So can anybody establish religious principles? Can you, me, anyone establish?
No.
No.
way.
Can we
Only
just
God.
create that yeah, can we just create that, oh, this, from today on, what I'm saying is religion?
No.
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 No, no, that's right. Only God can. Only God can establish religious principles because we are all having those 4 defects, no? What are they?
Mm.
We have the tendency of cheating. We are an illusion.
Yeah.
Cheating
Perfect senses.
propensity. We have cheating forgetting. We are
And
not perfect.
our senses are imperfect.
We have our
Yeah.
senses are not perfect.
Yeah, that's right. So we cannot create any religious principle. Only God can. Hmm. So, and what does real religion mean? What does religion mean? We say this is religion or that's religion. What does religion mean?
To know God, to know our relation.
To
Yeah,
Krishna.
yeah, to know God, our relation with Him, and our duties in relation with Him, and to go back home. Ultimately, to know our destination after leaving this material body. So, religion means to love God, to understand who we are, what's our relationship with Him, what shall we do to reestablish that relationship? That's devotional service. And ultimately, love of God, to revive our love of God. It's the prayojana. So, sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana. This is all what all the Vedas are trying to teach us. So, yeah, then Prabhupada is saying, most of us, we are just busy eating, sleeping, mating, defending. We are completely forgotten God and what we should do. And then in the name of sense enjoyment, I mean, in the name of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation, we actually engage in sense enjoyment. Like for example, we may do pious activities, but why we are doing pious activity? Why? Because I want to get pious karma. Why? So I can enjoy more. Like that. Or why I want to become God, so I can enjoy more. So this is what is our situation. But Krishna is left behind this Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam for us, because this age of Kali is called dark. It's full of ignorance. We don't know. So Krishna specially has spoken Bhagavad Gita for us. And he left behind Srimad Bhagavatam. He empowered Srila Vyasadeva to write the Bhagavatam. Empowered him through Narad Muni. So both these, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they are left behind for us to understand religion, to understand our relationship with God, to revive our relationship, to revive our love for Krishna. Prabhupada is saying one who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical. So Bhagavad Gita is the sound incarnation of Krishna, no? It's words spoken by Krishna himself. So it's sound incarnation. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the literally incarnation. It represents Krishna. So sound incarnation is Bhagavad Gita, literary, because it's all remembrances about Krishna. It's spoken. It's all pastimes about Krishna. So his literary incarnation. Prabhupada would say, by studying Bhagavatam, one can see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Tatra kirtayato vipra
Tatra kirtayato vipra
viprasher bhuri tejasaha
Viprarishi
viprashe bhuri
Tejasa.
tejasa
aham chadhya gamam tatra
aham chadya gamam tatra
nivish nivishtas tad anugraha.
Anyagamam Tatra
Nivishtastat
nivitastat
anugrahat.
Nivishta Tat
anugrahat
Anugrahat
Soham vashavayishyami.
soham
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 vashavayishyami
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 Yathaditam yathamati.
Yatha
yatha
Aditam
yataditam
ditam yatha
Yatamati.
mati.
yatamati.
Does anyone wants to continue reading?
I can read.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukdev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. Purport. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self realized great soul like Sukdev Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukdev Goswami and no one else if one at all wants to see Lord Sri Krishna in the pages. That is the process, and there is no alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukdev Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. Sukdev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. And so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sukdev Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Thus end the
Yeah, please.
Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the first canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations.
So Sutta Goswami, he's not saying, oh, I'm making it up. He's saying that when Sukadev Goswami was reciting it to Maharaj Parikshit, I heard it. And I heard with rapt attention. And so by the mercy of Sukadev Goswami, I am reciting Bhagavatam. And then he's saying, I've realized it. I heard it with attention. I've realized Bhagavatam, and now I'm speaking Bhagavatam to you. So here Sutta Goswami himself is also giving the importance of hearing in the disciplic succession. So Prabhupada is also, again, he's saying the same thing. We need to hear it from Sukadev Goswami. Srimad Bhagavatam has to be heard in disciplic succession because there's so many people who speak of Bhagavatam, but they're not speaking Bhagavatam if they've not heard it in disciplic succession. Because only when we hear it from the proper sources can we have the proper knowledge. And it because we are hearing it in the disciplic succession, then it can give us the transcendental realization, the transcendental knowledge. Merely just scholarship or, merely to speak Bhagavatam for the sake of livelihood, that is not going to give rise to devotion in our heart. That's why we need to hear it from the devotee, because the devotee can give us devotion. So this is what we are again saying, and Sutta Goswami is saying, yeah, he heard it from Sukadev Goswami, he heard it with rapt attention. Prabhupada is saying rapt attention. So being pure in mind, being pure in action, being pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So Prabhupada is saying we may not be there, but just somehow or the other, hear from the right source, hear from the right person. And then surely we can see Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. So this is 34. I'm sorry. Text 44. This finishes chapter 3. And then going on, chapter 4, the appearance of Sri Narad. Vyasa Uvacha.
Vyasa Uvacha.
Vyasa Uvacha.
Iti Bhuvanam Samstuya.
Iti Bhuvanam Samstuya.
Samstuya.
Muninam Dirga Satrinam.
Muninam Dirga Satrinam.
Rida Kulapati Sutam.
Vrida Kulapati Sutam.
Bhavracha Shaunako Bravet.
Bahurit Shaunaka
Bhavracha
Abravit.
Shaunaka Bravet.
Shilpa ji, just one question. Sorry, Hare Krishna. So that was, yeah. So just one question, that Sutta Goswami was telling this to the other rishis, right? The Sonakadi rishis,
Yes.
right? He was telling this, like
Yes.
what we mentioned, that now I'm going to start, and he has heard it from Srila Sukadev Goswami, and now he wants to tell them, right, what he heard at the
Yes.
Naimisharanya. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, just to confirm. Thank you.
Yes. So now we are going to hear that why does Vyasadeva compile Bhagavatam?
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Why he compiled it? That's the, okay. This
We are going
chapter.
to hear,
Okay.
because we are going to hear everything, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Parikshit Maharaj is there, right? Listening with the sages, with the other, right?
With- So
When
now
he's telling,
see,
when Sutta Goswami was speaking, was talking, the other sages and Parikshit Maharaj, right? Was there?
no. This
no?
is the second time.
The second.
See, when
Ah,
Sukadev Goswami was speaking
yeah.
to Parikshit Maharaj, that time Sutta Goswami was
Yeah,
hearing the
yeah.
Bhagavatam.
Oh, yes, yeah. Sorry,
So
yeah,
now he's
right. I got it.
speaking. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
speaking. And then
okay.
Tony's put up a question asking that how many cantos in Bhagavatam? There are 12 cantos. And we are reading the first canto, the fourth chapter. And in first canto, how many chapters? Okay, so I'm going to check how many chapters in the first canto. There are 19 chapters in the first canto.
Okay.
Okay, so we are on chapter 4 of the first canto. We're just starting the first text. And there are 12 cantos in Bhagavatam.
Okay.
There are 18,000 verses
18,000.
in Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We are advised to regularly hear Bhagavatam, constantly hear Bhagavatam, every day hear Bhagavatam. Oh, we have,
In a meet.
uh,
Oh,
Can't
yes.
sorry, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm
Translation, I'm not sure if we read or not. Yeah.
Hello.
No, we didn't. No?
Canto means a set of chapters. Huh?
I'm sorry?
Canto means set of chapters.
Set of chapters. Yeah.
Called
Skan. Yeah.
Okay.
Set of chapters.
It's called Canto. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. So,
Translation, right? Should I read?
please.
Vyasdev, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunak Muni, who was the elderly, learned leader of all the rishis engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. Purport. In a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be the leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Sri Shaunak Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Sukdev Goswami and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Shaunak, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yatharditam and Yathamati, and therefore he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. That should be the standard of recitation of Bhagavatam so that real purpose can be served without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor, both for the speaker and for the audience.
So Vyasadeva is saying that Shaunaka Muni, he congratulated Suta Goswami because Suta Goswami, the sages of Naimisharanya asked Suta Goswami, what is the best welfare activity for everyone? For everyone. And so then Suta Goswami said, you are asking such a good question for benefit of everyone. And that is to, so I'm going to recite you the Bhagavatam because that's the best welfare for everyone. And Sutta Goswami said, I'm reciting you Bhagavatam as I heard it from Sukadev Goswami. So here now, Shaunak Rishi, he's congratulating Sutta Goswami. Oh, that you are going to speak to us Bhagavatam. It's really, truly appropriate. So the qualification of the speaker is that he has heard it in disciplic succession. And he has realized the knowledge. You know, just like we are hearing now Prabhupada's purports. So he has realized Bhagavatam. That's how he's giving us these purports. And he's suitably presenting us the knowledge of Bhagavatam as it is, but in a way that we are able to understand it. So the qualification of the speaker and the qualification, the one who is congratulating Suta Goswami. He was learned, he's elderly, you know. So the qualification of the speaker, the hearer, and the one who's congratulating. That's important also. So hearing Bhagavatam from the Acharya, and then Prabhupada is pointing out one, when he said that you realize the Bhagavatam, it doesn't mean that we have to try to think that we are better than the Acharya, previous Acharyas, that, oh, I'm gonna create something new, I'm gonna imagine something new. No, it's just we realize the knowledge in such a way that we are able to understand it and we can present it. So this is what Prabhupada did. He realized the knowledge and he's presenting it to us so nicely that we are able to understand it. He's using it in a suitable manner for us to understand. Yeah, so it's not for mere scholarship. Bhagavatam, when it's heard for the purpose, out of scholarship or out of just to earn money, then that's not the aim of Bhagavatam. The aim of Bhagavatam is to revive our love for Krishna. Vanity means pride, just being proud, vain, like that. Pride, artificial pride. Because Tony asked vanity, so that's pride. So Bhagavatam, the hearer and the speaker, both should be qualified to, so that the reason the Bhagavatam is being spoken can be realized. Shaunak Uvacha.
Shaunak
Shaunak
Uvacha.
Uvacha.
Sutta Sutta Mahabhaga.
Sutta Sutta Mahabhaga.
Vadano Vadatam Vara.
Vadano Vadatam Vara.
Katham Bhagavatim Punyam.
Katham Bhagavatim Punyam.
I'm sorry. Yad Aha Bhagavan Shukaha.
Yad Aha Bhagavan Shukaha. Shaunak said, O Sutta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Sukadev Goswami. Sutta Goswami is twice addressed herein by Shaunak Goswami out of great joy because he and the members of the assembly were eager to hear the text of Bhagavatam uttered by Sukadev Goswami. They were not interested in hearing it from a bogus person who would interpret in his own way to suit his own purpose. Generally, the so-called Bhagavatam reciters are either professional readers or so-called learned impersonalists who cannot enter into the transcendental personal activities of the Supreme Person. Such impersonalists twist some meanings out of Bhagavatam to suit and support impersonalist views. And the professional readers at once go to the 10th canto to misexplain the most confidential part of the Lord's pastimes. Neither of these reciters are bona fide persons to recite Bhagavatam. Only one who is prepared to present Bhagavatam in the light of Sukadev Goswami, and only those who are prepared to hear Sukadev Goswami and his representative are bona fide participants in the transcendental discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam.
So Sutta Goswami is so happy that, Shaunak Muni, he is so happy that Sutta Goswami is going to recite the Bhagavatam. He's overjoyed. As you heard Bhagavatams from Sukadev Goswami, you're going to speak it to us, and he's Sutta, he's saying, so he's so enthusiastic. This is how we also need to hear Bhagavatam, with enthusiasm. And again, we are being reminded, hear from the pure devotee, hear in the disciplic succession, because if we hear from the reciters, then that's not Bhagavatam. From the professional people, then that's not Bhagavatam. If we are hearing from the impersonalists, then that's not Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam needs to be heard from the devotee, from the pure devotee who has understood the Bhagavatam, who has realized the Bhagavatam, and he can give us Bhagavatam. Because he's realized it, so he can give the Bhagavatam to us. So here, that's why Prabhupada is saying that, so the speaker has to be bona fide, but the persons who are listening, even they should be prepared to hear the original Bhagavatam. And they should be prepared to hear what Sukadev Goswami and his representatives are presenting, this transcendental discussion of Bhagavatam. Because as Lord Chaitanya would say, milk is very nutritious, but when it's touched by a snake, it becomes poison. So Bhagavatam is relishable, it's transcendental. But if we hear it from the non-devotees or from the atheists, then it becomes poisonous. It can poison our heart. So Bhagavatam is completely pure. To receive the pure Bhagavatam, we need to hear from the pure devotee. Kasmin yuge pravritteyam
Tasmin yuge pravritteyam
sthane vakena hetuna
sthane vakena hetuna
kuta sanchodita Krishna
kutas
Jodita
yodita Krishna
Tavan samhitam munihi.
Kritvan
Ravan Samhitam Muni. Translation. In what period and at what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the special contribution of Srila Vyasadeva, there are so many inquiries by the learned Shaunak Muni. It was known to them that Srila Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata for the understanding of less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of twice-born men. Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all of them because it has nothing to do with anything mundane. So the inquiries are very intelligent and relevant.
So Sutta Goswami told them, I'm going to speak to you the Bhagavatam. So now Shaunak Rishi is saying, why did Vyasadeva write the Bhagavatam? Why did he compile it? When did he compile it? What was the period? What place? Where? At what place also? So you see, he is asking detailed questions. He's saying, Vyasadeva already explained the Vedas and in the Puranas and Mahabharata for the easy understanding, because Vedic language is very difficult to understand. The hymns, the sutras, very difficult. So Vyasadeva explained it in story form in past times. It's not that the stories are imagination. No, they are real happenings. But to explain the Vedas, he wrote that, like even Mahabharata. So now Shaunak Rishi is saying, so he already explained Vedas. Now again, why he spoke the Bhagavatam? So we are going to hear in this chapter. Why does he write the Bhagavatam? Did anyone have anything to add?
I just have one question, Hare Krishna Shilpaji.
Yes,
So
Hare Krishna.
I just want to ask that lot of rishis were present there when Sukhdev Goswami, when Suta Goswami, sorry,
I'm sorry, your voice broke. A
when
lot of rishis were present.
a lot of rishis were present when Suta Goswami was also present at the Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
When Sukhdev Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, lot of rishis were present. So what was these rishis doing at that time? Were they at the Naimisharanya doing the yajna? So that's why they couldn't go there? Or they were hearing it again?
This is the second sage of sage. See, when Parikshit Maharaj, when Sukadev Goswami spoke, yes, there were many sages, right? And Suta Goswami heard it. Now he's speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya who have not heard Bhagavatam. So these sages, yeah, so I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
What I mean is that a lot of sages had gone there. So they were not able to go there. They didn't go there. That's why they are asking him to tell them, right? They were not part of that
The
that
first
assembly. They were
recitation
not
of
part.
Bhagavatam. Yes.
Yeah, the first
Yes.
recitation. They were not part of that assembly, and they were
Yes.
doing something, right? Other than, but
Yes.
right, that's what it is, that they couldn't go, and they were doing the yajna and the Naimisharanya, right?
Well, exactly what they were doing when the first time
We don't
Bhagavatam
know.
was spoken, that we don't know.
We don't know.
We can't
Okay.
speculate like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
exactly
asking.
what
Yeah,
were
that's
they
why I
doing?
just want to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know
But they
about
were
that
not part.
because,
But they were not
yeah,
part
that's
of
what,
that assembly.
yeah, this is another assembly. I don't know if there were some common people there or no. We are not spoken, we are not said about that.
Okay.
But here, because they put up the question, so probably not. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put up the question. If they would have already heard the Bhagavatam, they wouldn't have asked then what is the best welfare for all, everyone, and because they were engaged in fire sacrifices. And then Sutta Goswami is saying, oh, here, I'm going to speak the Bhagavatam to you because that's the best welfare for everyone.
Okay.
So they were not there probably, right? That's what it's.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked the question. But exactly what they were doing, I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, nobody. Okay. But they were not part of that assembly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And mundane means just ordinary.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's it means like how a mundane subject matter, like material.
Okay.
You want the exact dictionary meaning.
No,
So the exact dictionary meaning would be, let's see, dull, or it's of material, not spiritual.
material. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll stop here. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much for listening.